Former Georgia Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade is now admitting to several meetings with White House officials during his time on the state's Trump case. Now, that's coming from a newly released transcript of Wade's deposition on Capitol Hill last week. Wade resigned from the Trump probe back in March after his romantic relationship with Fulton County DA Fani Willis came to light. Mike Emanuel is live in Washington with the latest details.
So dirty,
Mike.
bro.
Emily, good afternoon. In his meeting with lawmakers and congressional staff, Nathan Wade's memory was a little fuzzy. Wade was asked, quote, did the interview with D.C. White House, to your recollection, involve anyone from the Department of Justice? Answer, I don't recall. On another matter, Wade was a little more clear when he was asked, quote, and did anyone in the White House direct you or, to your knowledge, anyone else at the Fulton County District Attorney's Office to file charges against Donald Trump? Answer, no, ma'am. Wade was on Capitol Hill 1 week ago for that questioning. In May 2022, Wade billed for a meeting with the White House counsel's office at his hourly rate of $250. But when asked about it, Wade could not detail the purpose of the meeting. Wade used some version of I don't recall more than 30 times when questioned by lawmakers and staff during closed-door testimony. The House Judiciary Chairman says Wade's 2022 visit to Washington sounds very political.
I mean, you got the whole thing with Nathan Wade, taxpayer money going to Nathan Wade. He was traveling to Washington, meeting with the DOJ, the White House, the January 6th committee, all in this effort to go after President Trump.
Wade.
Listen. I've been screaming this at the rooftops. I've been saying that these people are dirty and that they are basically engaging in a classic case of election interference that we've now been able to document because why? It always comes back down to the money. And that's why we have the Millionaire Morning Show. On the Millionaire Morning Show, I've been talking about this. I've been screaming at the rooftops. And see, y'all just started paying attention to it since election season kicked in. But see, now this disproves everybody and all of those people that want to say, oh, he a felon. If this isn't the most persecuted person on the face of the earth because they fear that he's going to win the election and become president again, and so they're trying to leverage their political clout in order to get him out of office. What they're not talking about and what is documented, this is not my opinion, this is the truth. What is documented is that not only did he bill based off of his hourly rate because he wanted to get his bag, and now they can already trace it back to what it is that he was doing, and that's unsavory. But this affair that she had with him that they then benefited from, and then Fani Willis and Andre Dickens traveled to the White House, and it says to meet with the Vice President of the United States of America. The whole case was blown open when they were actually prosecuting a YSL trial. And I forgot what the white lady lawyer's name was, but she basically blown it out and showed it to the people because it's public information. This is not even hidden. This is public information for everybody to see. So now they have to answer questions under oath. He has to answer questions under oath. And if you do not believe that these charges came as a direct result and nobody is talking about it, and this is one of the reasons why y'all keep talking about integrity and love and all of that, man, this woman, and when I say this woman, I'm talking about Vice President Kamala Harris, I don't personally trust her. If the logs say that the Fulton County District Attorney, who for all intents and purposes has been able to dodge every single thing that has came up against her, in addition to winning, again, as far as the Fulton County's election for the primary, which is largely going to practically elect her because they always elect a Democrat, who was then supported by these dirty bishops in his church. I'm going to break this down in the morning too. Was then supported by these dirty bishops in his church and Jamal Bryan and all of these people. And then they have them all in the pulpit. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is one big petri dish of finesse. One big petri dish of finesse, and they finessing at your tax expense. Let's continue to get into this.
He left the Trump case due to his romantic relationship with Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Willis warned Wade against revealing case details to lawmakers, noting the risk of harming ongoing legal proceedings. The newly released transcript says Wade met with Biden administration staff on at least 2 occasions during the Fani Willis probe into former President Trump. Emily?
Mike, thank you. Harris, what are voters to make of this?
You know, it's interesting because they're both so very different, right? I mean, you've got Fani Willis and you've got her lover, and the only two things that they have in common was take down Trump, and they tried to do that. I'm not so sure that the Justice Department shouldn't have jumped in here early and taken a real good look at this, because I want to know, is this happening in other places around the country? And with him now bringing forth information so late in the game, why didn't we know this before? And
Eric Adams.
why is everything always right before an election? I mean, it's important to know what is going on, but was this legal warfare? Is that really close to, really truthful? It looks like it was, in fact. It looks like we could have used these receipts a while ago. So why is the DOJ involved? This is a presidential candidate that this had to do with, which, by the way, I mean, we wouldn't get that attention from the DOJ, but shouldn't somebody who's running for the country?
So, Kayleigh, to Harris's point, we need answers, but frankly, none were revealed. That's the whole point. There weren't receipts. He says, I don't know why I was having these meetings at the White House. I billed for it, but I can't articulate why I was there. So the question is it incompetence? Is it fraud? And is it an absolute travesty of the justice system? To Harris's point, this is a presidential candidate.
Yes.
And no matter what, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, look, I mean, there are so many questions. Nathan Wade, I'm not obviously in his head, thankfully. But Nathan Wade, I mean, you have this May 2022 meeting with the White House counsel's office, and you bill $250 per an hour, and you don't know what the meeting's about. You don't have a record of the meeting. I mean, you know this, Emily. In law, when you have billable hours, you write with some level of specificity what you did during the hour. It's not just trip to D.C., pay me X number of dollars. It's trip to D.C. to discuss X, Y, or Z. So he didn't keep any detailed notes, it seems. Then you go to November 2022, where he does not remember why he met with the White House. This is a local Georgia prosecutor. When you meet with the White House, let me tell you, I mean, I did it at the federal level when I was outside of the White House just working on the campaign. You remember why you meet with the White House. It's a huge deal. And for a local Georgia prosecutor, this is a massive deal. But his memory evades him. And I just remember his interview with Caitlin Collins, where a consultant had to step in and stop him from answering something, and they had to go confer to the side, and then he comes back. Not in his head, but I don't know why he doesn't have a memory of this.
Your point about the billing, Kennedy, there are that specificity is required for ethics reasons. So you do not just say meeting. You actually do have to, within 30 days, specify exactly to the 0.6 of a minute or the 0.6 of a quarter hour, what exactly were you doing? So that was a long time ago. Those notes were certainly reflected in those business accountings. We also know that now he had to take a racketeering class before joining the prosecution team. The caliber dealing with a presidential candidate, to me, seems shocking that you would pull in an attorney that needs a course on what to do.
Listen, man, this stinks to the highest level. It stinks of fraud. It stinks of election interference. It stinks of I mean, the federal government and the people that were in the White House, it's almost like a RICO case needs to be levied against them also. Is this why they're so afraid of Trump wanting to becoming president again? Because he would actually have access to be able to expose this administration, and it will be Jesus. If y'all can't see through this and use y'all context clues, I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to talk about this in the morning on the Millionaire Morning Show. Oh my God, it's gonna be one of the best shows that I've ever done in my entire life. It stinks, man. It stinks, and they giving y'all this person to be your president, and you never even voted on this person in the man, get out of here, bro. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, teach Henley 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. Anton, discount code Anton. Put that in the description in order to get your tickets. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. It's crazy.